All right. Here we go. It is time for the YouTube live stream here on the Barcelona Podcast YouTube channel. Should probably tell people that I am live, right? That's always a good idea. So that's exactly what we're going to do. How's everybody doing? We'll get to this in a second here. So, let's see, then head over to Big Up for the match. Watch along. Okay, we're gonna do that right there. Yeah, okay. How's everybody doing? I mean, I am obviously not nervous about this at all. No offense to Red Star Belgrade, which is what I'll keep calling them, because again, I'll be honest with you, my my Czech is not the best, or my Serbian rather is it's not the best. So I will, yeah. So I will not be calling them by their Serbian name. I'll be calling them by their by Red Star Belgrade, which does have a really good history too, by the way. Let's go over some of that and their history. There's so many things actually to talk about here. So let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about first. Like, do you want to talk about the starting lineup first? Do you want to talk about the U19 game, the youth league game that I watched today, or do you want to talk about a little bit of the history of Red Star Belgrade? Let me also just make sure that I am posting this in all the different locations here. So let's see, general discussion here. There on that. And let's also make sure that people remember that I am doing this over here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. By the way, I think Barcelona B is also playing today. Yeah, they played against Real Sociedad today too. So yeah, pretty much everybody was in action today, with Abdul Aziz Issa and David Aduro for Barca Athletic making their debuts as well today. So yeah, a little bit of fun news. That's a game that I didn't get to see yet. So just for everyone's consideration, I need to go back and again check out the debuts of Aduro, who came on at the start of the half, and then Issa came on for the last 15 minutes. Again, David Aduro is the left back from Ghana, and Abdulaziz Issa is the kind of like winger attacking midfielder. I think he'll likely play most on the right wing, but again, he can also play in the middle. But yeah, I'd expect him to be mostly on the right wing for Barca Athletic. So again, they made their Barcelona Athletic debuts today, this afternoon. So that's yeah. So I think that one ended 1-1 between Real Sociedad B and Barcelona. Okay, back to, well, I guess we'll do the youth league now first. We're gonna build our way up to the first team stuff, because again, we got about half an hour here live on YouTube for the preview show, and then we're gonna head over on Big Up, as I say. Here we go. You just want to jump in there. Hello, Z-Meister, and hello, everybody else. So again, yeah, you can just then pop over there for the live stream. Let's see. Lewis, you asked, when are you having the Purist back on the podcast? Hopefully soon. He's, to be honest with you, he is someone that I like to have when there's matches not going on, so that we can really just dig into big ideas. So I usually try to have him on during international breaks and breaks in the action when there's no Champions League or Copa del Rey or anything midweek. So when there's a little more time in between stuff, and so between Real Madrid and whoever they played over the weekend. Now I'm already forgetting who Barcelona just played. So yeah, Espanyol. So when there was that week break, I got Alex Damas instead. So that is why the purists, I didn't even bother him for this week. Yash, when is Neil making an appearance again? How about this, Yash? You need to tell Neil. The ball is in his court. I've asked him to come on, and it's not that he said no. It's been a little while, and he was busy last time I asked him, and then I didn't reschedule it. So yeah, we just haven't scheduled it. But yeah, if people want Neil to come on, then yeah, just let him know on social media. Okay, so let's go with that UEFA Youth League matchup real quick this afternoon. Barcelona won 2-1 against the Red Star Belgrade UEFA Youth League team. So the things that jump out to me, because Barca Athletic also played today, um, Barca Athletic's lineup was kind of reflective of the fact that there was also a youth league game going on as well. So for the youth league, like they started Yakashvili in net. They had Guim Victor, the younger brother at right back of Pau Victor. They had Landy Ferre also starting in that one. The prospect that came up with Lamine Yamal and Pau Garcia and Mark Bernal. He was in like that same group. Really high prospect player that has had a number of injuries, but hey, is with Barca Athletic playing in the Youth League. So, I mean, again, he's 17. He's where you're supposed to be. It's the others who are kind of everywhere else. Iman Cospo, the Swiss center back, I think he just turned 17. Jofre Torrens, Danny Avila, one of the defensive midfield prospects, who is much more like a Pau Prime kind of prospect than he is like a ball winner like Casado. Jan Virgili, one of the new signings this offseason to the U19s. I think he's playing with the U19s, not the U18s. And he came from CF Dom. So goal scorer. He had a goal in the game as well. Then Brian Farinas is a Spanish attacking midfielder that I don't really talk too much about. I don't know really about his ceiling, but hey, he might surprise me. And then Hugo Alba, who had another goal. And even though I talk a lot about Oscar Gustau, he really is like the big prospect that I focus on, the 16-year-old center forward for Barcelona, who just recently turned 16, by the way. Like he was 15. Now he recently turned 16. I think maybe he's still 15. But no, I think he debuted for Barca Athletic, so he's got to be 16. Yeah, he is. Okay, so he's 16. And Hugo Alba's, I think, 17 or 18. But he's been scoring a lot this year. And I don't want to underrate him, but I just think he's like a pretty decent center forward prospect. But I don't think he's going to push in the first team. But hey, I could be proven wrong. Kim Junet was also, in that game playing as kind of their do everything, give him the ball, let him go. And then Arnau Pradas, who's also scoring this year too. Again, same thing like Hugo Alba. I don't know what Arnau Pradas' ceiling is, but Musa, yes, this is the match preview. I'm just talking and going over the Barca U19 UEFA Youth League match from this afternoon. So yes, this is the match preview, and I'll be getting to the first team starting lineup and all the Red Star Belgrade stuff in a second here. So just going over the matches that happened today in the Barcelona world, which is again that UEFA Youth League match that Barcelona won 2-1, and as well as the Barca Athletic match. So also featuring that game, Tomas Marquez, Hector Rangel, Pedro Fernandez, and Marcos Pariego came off the bench. Danny Ferrer also coming. I wonder if Danny Ferrer is the son of Albert Ferrer. Maybe. I don't know. We can Google that later. Okay, where else are we? We're now looking at who do you prefer, Gyökeres or Haaland for the striker position? NJ, while it feels like this would be the topic to talk about in this moment, I'm gonna put the brakes on that for a second here. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I actually need to see more of Gyökeres, because I think he's 26, and at 26, there are moments here where in the Portuguese division, this could just be kind of a flash in the pan type thing. And because of his price tag already, it screams, I'm going to the Premier League. So from the Portuguese to the Premier League with that price tag, kind of breaking out at 26, I'm telling you, like, that's what it screams to me. So I don't know if I'm like too, crazy about that. For Barca Athletic today, again, who finished, Henrik, that's a good question here. So Barca Athletic this season have had 8 draws, 2 wins, 2 losses. So they are just the team of draws, and that is why they are right, not even in the middle of kind of in the middle of the table. They're 13th right now in the table. But crazier than that, they have 5 straight draws at the moment. That's like Barca B 6. Barca B are currently on 6 straight draws in the third division, which is like seems almost physically impossible. But Yeah, so 6 so now, yeah, they're now on 8 draws. I have 6 straight draws, which is pretty remarkable. Let's see what other news we have for you. And in that match up, let's see here. So and then for Barca Athletic today, um, let's see. Diego Cochin started in net. So again, that kind of shows the hierarchy between the youth goalkeepers, with Cochin starting for Barca Athletic and Jakub Pashvili starting in the UEFA Youth League. Mbake Fall started at the back. Let's see, Pau Prim in the midfield. Unai Hernandez had a goal from the penalty spot. That was the goal the Barca Athletic scored today. Cortez started at the back. Alvaro Cortez. Ruben Lopez, who is kind of one of those. He's not even experienced. I think he's 20 years old, but he's one of those ones that is expected to be with Barca Athletic. Guillermo started. Darvid started. Alex Almeida started. Cedric was still up top. He has been like the number 9 for Barca Athletic since he signed. And then Andres Cuenca also started. So a lot of center backs starting for Barca Athletic. And yeah, I have to. That's again. I did not get a chance to see that episode. That game. So all I saw was like a little bit of highlights, which is that Cochin had a pretty good save. Unai Hernandez scored the PK, and it finished 1-1. So that's what I know. So those are the other things that happened today in Barcelona's universe. Now let's jump up to the first team. First, let's talk about some of the boring stuff, because Red Star Belgrade and Barcelona have met before in other years and other times in the past. They played against one another. What in 1996 they played against each other. They played against each other. Let's see here. Played each other in 1996. Oh, also big important thing for this match. You're going to notice there's not a lot of Barca fans in the stands, and that was because of that banner with the Monaco match, where they had that banner about it was just a Nazi banner about Flick, and so it's a 1-game ban for Barcelona, which I think is the way you do it. So 1996, last competitive match between Barca and Red Star Belgrade was October of 1996, 28 years ago, and that was when they were still called Yugoslavia. So before the Iron Curtain fell. It was a round of 16 of the Cup Winners' Cup, Barcelona winning 3-1, and then the return draw was 1-1. They also met in the 2002 Juan Gamper Trophy, and Barcelona won that one 1-0. So there is a little bit of history, but not that much. And if I'm not mistaken here, the stakes of this match are that if Barcelona win, Barcelona would move up into the top 8, especially with, let me see. They should move up into the top 8, because with a 4th win, they would then jump. With a win, they would jump Man City, who only have 7 points. And if Aston Villa does lose today, they would tie with them in Dortmund. So Barcelona, if they win tonight, it looks like they would jump into the top 8, which is great, which means that you don't have to play in the playoffs to get into the next round. There's also a cool highlight that Barca Buzz has. Diego Maradona away at Red Star Belgrade back in the early 1980s. He scored quite a golazo. So that was a little cool highlight from the past. Other than that, Dani Olmo, his last goal in the Champions League was against Red Star Belgrade, the top team in Serbia, who are currently leading their league as well. You can see the sun is coming up, and I'm staring right into the sun as well. Aston Villa lost, and they lost to Club Brugge, which is just Champions League chaos. That's what you need to know. Let's see. So they will jump into the top. So they would jump into the top 8, which would be pretty cool. Let's see. As far as Red Star Belgrade, they have they're a team that's regularly in the UEFA Champions League. They regularly are in the UEFA the Europa League. Let's see. They have they won in 1990, 1991. They actually won the whole competition, if you remember. So they are a former UEFA. That's when it was still called the European Cup. But that's right. That's what I thought. That's your little your little stat of the day. They defeated Marseille 0-0 on penalties in Italy in 1990, 1991. So that was, I think, going back, they were in the semifinals back in the 56-57 season, and 1970-71 and 91-92. So the very next year, they still made the semifinal. And then they finished in the quarterfinals a bunch in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, Red Star Belgrade have a pretty good history, and that is also an atmosphere. I don't know if people saw the tunnel that leads the away players into the stadium. Like, it's pretty harrowing. Like, it's this old, like, military tunnel. Looks like the barracks, and you go through, and yeah, so that's something. All right, let's see. I know I've been ignoring the chat, but now I'm jumping in. Dylan, hey to you. Daniel, Fati is not scoring, but yeah, let's hope he gets his first goal today this season. Let's see. Van Lee, hopefully wrap the league by Christmas. I don't think it's going to happen. NJ, Fort should have started over Martin. We'll get to that in a second. Let's see. Starting lineup. NJ, Red Star is a European winner 2-time. Yep, we just went over that. They won once. Matchup is not going to be easy. They're losing. Let's see. NJ. Sorry, NJ, I've repeated a lot of what you said. Yeah, you had this on lock. Let's see, Musa. What does Flick see in Gerard Martin that we don't see? Soccer TV, Gerard Martin is worrying. He is not Barca level. So, Zima, if you kind of name this, I trust Flick if he sees necessity to rotate and allow Martin to get more minutes, then so be it. And Pranav, yeah, you said it. If we win this, get into the top 8. Okay, so that would be cool. Let's see. Anchor, where am I based? I'm based in New York, just outside of New York City. So little train, and I'm into New York City, so not too far away. I was actually just in the city yesterday, and I'm going to be in the city tomorrow as well. Okay, so the starting lineup for Barcelona: Lewandowski starts up top, Lamine Yamal starts on the right, Rafinha starts on the left. Stop me if you've heard this before. Yes, that is pretty reasonable. Koundé comes back into the starting lineup for Hector Fort after Hector Fort started on the weekend against Espanyol. Okay, everyone just pause for 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to shut the window there because, again, the sun is right on my face, and I don't want to get sunburned in my own house. That is embarrassing, to say the least. Okay. There we go. I don't want to get sunburned in my own house. That's embarrassing. Indoors. It's like people who get when they drive with the window down and you get like the one sunburn on your left arm and not on your right if you're driving with your arm out the window. Okay, so Koundé's come back into the starting lineup. Inigo Martinez and Kubarsi start as the center pairing. Again, stop me when you've heard that before, because there's also nobody else to do that. What are you going to do, Sergio Dominguez? And then, yes, Balde gets the rest for Martin. And if you're going to bring Koundé back for Fort, okay, here's what I actually like about what Hansi Flick is doing. We have not really seen, as well as he did in those few matchups, that being Hector Fort on the left side last season, it feels like Hansi Flick is saying, hey, you're a right back, because he is a right back, and he's playing right back, and that is where he's rotating. Hector Fort is the backup to Koundé, and that is his role. Gerard Martin is the backup as a left-footed player, as a natural left back to Alejandro Balde. And I actually kind of appreciate that continuity. And I do think Hector Fort, so the variance for Hector Fort, I think, is more. Here's my compliment for Gerard Martin. While he wasn't great against Osasuna, I think his ceiling is lower, obviously way lower than Hector Fort's. And I think his floor is in a similar spot, but he's more naturally left-footed. And the way that Barcelona play that high line, you basically get one stab at the ball with your dominant foot. So if you're going to play that high line and you're on the back foot, again, you want a naturally left-footed left back, because again, when they have one shot at that tackle if they're behind, and you want it to come with a left foot dominant player, because a right foot dominant player is likely going to step in a bit more. I mean, it's also a foot race, speed, and all those things have to do with that. But I also think Gerard Martin defensively, from what I had seen, like, he is solid, and I think we haven't seen the best of him defensively. I think, as I said, his ceiling, he is very limited offensively, but I don't know if they're truly, that being Barcelona, going to need him offensively for this kind of game, especially the way that Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are all in form, and the way even that Pedri offensively is in form right now. I don't think that against Red Star Belgrade's back line, they're that concerned about it. Again, it's going to be a tough game, but tough is different than you know, a names on paper that you'd be afraid about how they're going to they're set things up. The one thing I will say about before we do the midfield for Barcelona, the one thing I will say to watch about Red Star Belgrade is Andrija Maksimovic. There we go, got it right. He's already debuted for the Serbian national team, and Lamine Yamal is not the only 17-year-old wonderkind in this matchup. So he is a 17-year-old attacking midfielder who's already got a goal and 2 assists in the Serbian First Division, which is not too shabby at all. So he is the other wonderkind to watch in this matchup right here. On the other side, the midfield is going to be a battle. Guelor Kanga, who is a long time, he's like in his mid 30s. It's a name I recognize from being like around Champions League stuff, looking at different lineups throughout the years. Slovenian national team player, Timi Max Elsnik. He's also in the midfield. And then another pretty experienced player that I recognize, from the Bosnian and Herzegovina national team in Krunic. So you got some tough tacklers behind the kid in Maksimovic, and then a former Stuttgart player who's on loan from Stuttgart in Silas. He has got a lot of speed on that right wing, and whether he comes to the middle, whether he comes on the right wing, I expect him to kind of. I think he's like kind of like their big danger piece, Silas. So that's going to be the name to watch on the right wing, trying to give Gerard Martin a little bit of trouble. Henrik, you saw their tanks outside the stadium. Yeah, I mean that's all about the. That is all about the atmosphere that Red Star Belgrade are trying to provide. Oleg, who was also one of their more talented players, I think Red Star Belgrade, he had an Achilles injury, so he was in previous seasons their big left wing option, and then the starting forward Sharif Ndei. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. Looks like he's 28 years old, has been with a ton of teams in Croatia, in China, no, in Turkey. Yep, then in China, then back to Turkey, back to China, and signed last season for Red Star Belgrade. So, yep, there's a reason why I don't know who that player is. So I'm not too worried about the center forward based on pedigree. But yeah, you never know. He also does have 9 goals this season, though, so maybe this is his season to break out at 28. Can't stop scoring. So then Luka Ilic is also a player to come off their bench potentially to be dangerous. So that is the scouting report of Red Star Belgrade. Now, let's finish up this YouTube preview before we all go and move over to Big Up. Here we go. Let's put that back in there. Bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, their center forward, that being Red Star Belgrade, can't stop scoring goals this season. Maksimovic is a very exciting 17-year-old for them. Silas has a lot of speed on the right wing. Then they've got just workhorses in the midfield. So I do expect them to kind of settle into a 4-3-2-1, or that's pretty much what I expect it to be. And maybe because Silas and Maksimovic, I don't expect them to do too much defending. So I think it's really going to be like a pretty devout low block with a 4-3-2-1, and then hopefully one of those 3 for them in their front 3 can just break out. So maybe it'll probably look like a 4-3-3-2, 4-3-3 also. Then for Barcelona, it's De Jong, Caicedo, and Pedri. I like this. Here's why I like this. Because Caicedo is proving in this lineup that until Gabi gets healthy, Caicedo is the one who is undroppable. Pedri is the best midfielder that Barcelona have at the moment. I don't think we can even argue about that. So he gets the start here to try to control some stuff in the middle. But De Jong starting next to Caicedo is what makes me excited, because we've seen 2 versions of De Jong this season. And the one that we saw against Espanyol was one we didn't like. And that was when he came into the game for Caicedo. He wasn't fine in the game. But I do expect some space that he'll be able to dribble into, because I do expect Red Star Belgrade to maybe be in a low block for most of this match, potentially. I don't know. They also have not done well in the Champions League at all. They've tried to play low blocks. They've also tried to play medium blocks and try to get on the counter. To be honest with you, because I knew they were playing them, I watched like 15 minutes of the last Champions League matchup, and they were already losing the game, so it wasn't anything to write home about. I mean, unfortunately for Barcelona on their bench, I told you that as I said, Luka Ilic, he is the kind of the player to watch coming off of Red Star Belgrade's bench. But for Barca, yeah, they have Balde in case the Martin thing isn't going well. They have Gabi. Ansu Fati can come in. Maybe it's his moment. Pablo Torre, Fermin Lopez. I expect to see Fermin today. Danny Olmo is also back on the bench. So, there's just, I've already named for so many years, right? It was, I mean, even remember the days of Jukla? Didn't remember when Jukla was playing. And no offense to Ferhan Jukla, but between Jukla and a very young Easy Abde, like Barcelona was playing Champions League matches that you looked at the bench, you're like, I don't know. I think you just have to roll the dice and see what happens. But now if something isn't working with this 11, which I don't know why it wouldn't, because everything has worked for Barcelona so far this season when yeah, I mean, except for the 2 matches that it didn't. But yeah, everything is working for Barcelona right now, so I don't expect any to worry too much about it. Fraser, you're right. Hey, you're right. You're right. Ferran Jukla did his job and beat Aston Villa. So I'm not. You're right. I wasn't disparaging Ferran Jukla. I'm just saying, what's the difference between Ferran Jukla and Danny Olmo? What's the difference between Ferran Jukla? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You got me. I picked the exact wrong guy to decide to go after today. You're absolutely right. That's my mistake. That's my mistake. Yeah, Ferran Jukla, good on you. Having a good one in the Champions League. That's where he belongs. Listen, he played for FC Barcelona. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, he played for FC Barcelona. No, Fraser, I don't think you're joking around. Like, Club Brugge beat Aston Villa, and they got some points in the Champions League. That's a lot harder than anything else. So let's see here. Yeah, so it's Pedri, Costa, De Jong in the midfield, and I like that. I think all eyes are on De Jong because the rest of the top front 5 have all been very consistent. So from this starting 11, Inaki Peña obviously in goal. The ones that let's say worry about, but the ones that haven't shown their best is De Jong, who's only played 2 matches, and Gerard Martin. So those are the 2 players I think with the pressure on them, I guess to say, but not really. I think Barcelona as a team have a bit of pressure on them just to see what they can do. All right, let's finish this up, and then we're going to head over to Big Up. Actually, I'm going to start the Big Up stream right now while we're still on YouTube, and then we'll just switch over. So here we go. We're heading over to Big Up as we speak. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, remember to head over there. There we go. I'm trying to start the stream here. Oh, we're starting a little early. That's the problem. Let's see. In the pod, who else has said stuff? All right, you guys are really giving it to me on the Juco stuff. That's good. Let's see. Next summer, Pranav, you said Jonathan David, Alex Grimaldo, outgoing, Ferran Torres, Pablo Torre, De Jong. We'll see. Let's see. Z-Meister, Barca quality with Brathwaite and Abde and Jukla were dark times. I mean, it's just that they're just not. I mean, they're all decent players. Yeah, they're all decent players. They just weren't. I mean, again, it was even a young Abde. He was 20 years old at the time. So it wasn't, just not up to the level. Pranav, I think De Jong will work well alongside Costa. So do I. That's why I'm excited for that. And then Base, you say in the pod with the purists, please talk more about Hansi Flick and Barca DNA. Maybe throw in some Valverde too, because during Valverde days, fans used to criticize them a lot despite the trophies. I think we do get lost in the sauce about like Barca DNA and what that means and all that stuff. Let's see here. Let's see. We're having some issues on Big Up. There we go. Okay. So, hey, everybody on Big Up. Remember, just we're heading over there right now. So I think I'm going to stop this stream now. Let's stop it with a prediction because we're over on Big Up. So hello to everybody over here on Big Up. Let's end this as a prediction. Then everybody move over with me, please, who's in this YouTube review or live preview, I should say. Yeah. So my prediction for this match is 4-1 Barcelona. So yeah, let me put it on the record. 4-1 Barcelona is the prediction. They have that being Red Star Belgrade have given up a lot of goals in the Champions League so far, and they've been kind of blown off the field in a lot of these matches. They just haven't seemed up to the level, even though they are winning in their league. So 4-1 Barcelona. Yeah, I'm being generous by giving them 1 goal against the high line just because I think Silas and DA are very quick, like they're fast. So I think, again, no offense to Gerard Martin, but I'm shipping him a goal. So I think Silas versus Gerard Martin is kind of like the one weak spot for Barcelona, and it's kind of the one strength for Red Star Belgrade in transition. So there you go. There's my there's my prediction for you over there. Yeah, and now let's. I'm going to end this stream here on YouTube, and then for those already on Big Up, again, everybody just head over there right now, and I'm going to end this stream. So thanks everybody for joining me. Jump over on Big Up, and then we can have some fun over there.